Good morning, beloveds. Foster's just down here, keeping me warm. And he's purring away. He's got a really light, gentle purr, though, so you don't hear it very often. All right. It's going to be a busy day. We have our soul session today. If you don't know what that is, then you need to go to the Creative Life Spiritual YouTube channel and click on the soul session playlist and look at all the amazing guests that we've had, where they come and have a conversation with Jessie about all kinds of amazing things. So, all right. Today is April 19th. Our author is Ella Pomeroy from, I'm guessing, a book, Powers of the Soul, from 1948. And it looks like a pretty long book because this is from page 135. And I'm not sure who she is because it doesn't give us any information of where she comes from. But imagination. Imagination is not mere fancy, nor is it a vain ability to picture or create fantasies without relation to life. It is not necessarily unreasonable, nor does it always produce idols or other types of stupidity. Imagination is the ability to conceive, draw together, to inspire the mind with a sense of newness. It is the mind's exercise in foreseeing results in material form. It is the gift with which the people combine separate bits of information or feelings into wholes and brings forth formed ideas, formed lives, policies, and philosophies. Imagination reveals that a thought planted in mind is like a seed. It is an inner power which brings vague ideas of future matters into clear outlines, an invisible process of gathering together which takes place in the inner side of life before a concept can be born. Imagination is God's power to conceive form in infinite variety, to bring such conceptions to birth, to combine conceived forms into new and different forms, and so fill the world with shape and materials adapted to God's own purpose. Imagination is the mind of God. Imagination in the mind of God is an idea of form. Imagination in people is the power to exercise control and achieve conception. All right. Imagination. And I would suggest to you that imagination, one of my favorite quotes about imagination is from Albert Einstein, where he says, worry is a misuse of imagination. It's one of those things that if you worry a lot, you already are, you're very good. You're already very good and well practiced. What we need to do is switch you from the negative to the positive. It's like you're busy worrying about all the things that could go wrong. Well, why don't you start imagining all the things that could go right? And I like what she said. It's like imagination isn't just fantasy. I mean, if you look at all of the things that Star Trek is my favorite example. When you look at Star Trek, they had communicators and they had tablets and they had 3D printers and all of these things, so when, in the early 70s and in the 80s, and, we watched these shows and we were amazed at the technology that Gene Roddenberry dreamed up. And then now you look around and you go, well, we have cell phones and we have iPads and we have, imagination. It's like all of these things that all of these amazing technological advances that we've got, somebody imagined and had the wherewithal to bring them to fruition. When I went to college, my mom bought me a first gen laptop that was this thick closed and probably weighed, a good 15, 20 pounds. And then you look at the laptops that we carry around. honestly, the cell phone that I'm doing this live streaming from has more computing power than the computers they used to send the first people to the moon. Um, so, when the cell phone that you carry around in your back pocket has more computing power than what Neil Armstrong had to get him to the moon. And that's all imagination. There's so many things that our imagination can do. And it's not daydreaming, and it's not, as she said, idle fantasy when we put feet underneath it. It's like, you should spend a little bit of time every day imagining what your life could look like, and then take active steps to get to that. That's the power of imagination. It's like, what can you imagine? All right, now what are you going to do to get to that? We talk about treat and move your feet. Well, that's part of it. Imagination is absolutely part of, treatment. We imagine a world that works for everybody. All right. And then what does that look like? That's what imagination is for. It's like, all right, well, what is a world that looks like for everybody? Where everybody's needs are met. And then we imagine, that, and then what active steps can we take to get towards that? And that's the power of imagination. It's like, once you imagine it, then you got to take active steps to it. So Ella Pomeroy and imagination. And I think that's just really, and I appreciate what she says. The ability to conceive, to inspire the mind with a sense of newness. It is the mind's exercise in foreseeing results in material form. That's why I'm like, let me jump on the Star Trek thing. There's so many things. I'm waiting for the transporters. Oh, I'm waiting on the transporter. Ooh. It is the gift with which people combine separate bits of information or feeling into a whole and bring forth formed ideas, formed lives, policies, and philosophies. It's like, I'm not sure Ernest Holmes could have imagined the organization that he created, but somebody did. People went to Ernest Holmes and said, hey, you know what? There's potential here. I can imagine the good that we can do. And here we are, still working. Imagination reveals that a thought planted in the mind is like a seed. It is an inner power which brings vague ideas of future matters into clear outlines. An invisible process of gathering together which takes place on the inner side before conception. It can be born. Okay, so it's like, we got to get those ideas together. We got to imagine it. And then we put it on paper. And then we are divine channels. Well, it's our imagination that makes that channel possible. And I like that she says, imagination is God's power to conceive form in infinite variety. To combine conceived forms into new and different forms, and so fill the world and with shapes and materials adapted to spirit's own purpose. Imagination in the mind of God is an idea of form. Imagination in people is the power to exercise, control, and achieve conception. Imagination. It's useful. It's useful. It's not, we don't use it to escape reality. We use it to reshape reality. That's the purpose of imagination. Wow, did I just say that out loud? Imagination. We don't use it to escape reality. We use it to reshape reality. I'm going to write that down. All right, beloveds. You got your mission. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to use our imagination. To use our imagination and reshape our realities. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you got everything you need within you to do that. You start using that imagination to expand out the opportunities that are in front of you. All right, beloved, that's the mission. And as always, I do encourage you, and imagination is part of this. the spiritual practice of doing something loving for yourself, doing something kind for yourself, doing something compassionate for yourself. Well, I can't imagine anything more loving, kind, and compassionate for yourself than imagining the best outcome. Imagining the best outcome. It's imaging. So that I'm just like, yeah, I'm still kind of blown away with that. Ella Pomeroy this is where imagination. We don't use it to escape reality. We use it to reshape reality. The most loving, kind, and compassionate thing you can do is imagine a good outcome in whatever it is that you're working on. All right. It also looks like taking a deep breath before you speak. It looks like taking a walk, taking a nap, taking care of yourself. It is self-care. It is absolutely self-care. And I want to remind you, it's also about joy. No matter what is going on in the world, you deserve joy. It is one of the qualities of God. I would like you to imagine more joy in your life, and image more joy in your life. So make room for more joy in your life. And as you're imagining it, then go get it. Don't save the good stuff. Eat dessert first. Maybe imagine a new dessert. That sounds like a fun practice there in imagining a new dessert. But, wear the nice clothes. Go do the fun stuff. Make room in your life for joy and happiness. You deserve it. You're a beloved child of God. You deserve your own love, your own kindness, your own compassion. Practice on yourself. You are your own best test subject. So, all right. I'm going to move forward into the rest of my suggestions, which are all loving, kind, and compassionate. Do something to engage your mind and your body today. The bike ride was amazing. Please drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important. Your brain works better when it's well hydrated. Please get early in your day bright light. That is, it's called a circadian rhythm. You can look it up. It's about a hormone balance. It's a natural hormone cycle. That early in your day, I'm talking 10 minutes of bright light on your face will help to reset those hormones. You'll have more energy during the day. You'll sleep better at night. And your brain will work better if you get more sleep. So, or at least, if not more sleep, better quality sleep. It's so hard for me. Sleeping is not my favorite thing to do because there's so much to do. So at least the least I can do is if I can't get more sleep, if I won't get more sleep, because it's me in my own way, if I can get better quality sleep, that's the goal. So, and that's what that circadian rhythm, that hormone balance can help you with. So if you won't get more sleep, at least you can get better quality sleep. And then I'm going to tell you, as I always do, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. Today we talked about imagination. You want to open the windows of your soul? Imagination is one of the best ways to do it. Throw those windows open and imagine all of the good. Like imagine all of the good that you can possibly imagine, and then imagine more. It really is how we reshape our reality. Just imagine the absolute best possible outcome. Now, when we do this, we're not completely losing our minds. We still, take good planning into account. But why not imagine the best that can come out? Then at least you walk into the situation in a good mood. And that right there can make the biggest difference in whatever's happening, is if you walk in that good and positive and upbeat mood. So imagination, that is one of the best tools in our toolbox for reshaping our reality. Okay. All right. And you can always take Emma's advice, look for the good and praise it. You can never go wrong there. Never go wrong there. Okay. I think I'm at the social media part. I remind you, we're Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. And I do want to remind you, we do have a really amazing things happening on our Facebook Live tonight at 7 p.m. We have J. Thomas Smith. And if you don't know who he is, you do know who he is because you heard his voice on the radio. So he's going to be on Facebook Live with us, where he and Jesse are going to have a conversation. And if you've not watched a soul session before, they start with a topic and then it just goes. And it goes anywhere and everywhere. And it's amazing. And I do commend our soul sessions to you. So, you can go to our YouTube channel, Creative Life Spiritual Center, and go to the Soul Session playlist, and there's all kinds of great stuff on there. So, but this one, if you join us on Facebook Live, you can ask questions, and we will ask J. Thomas Smith, and he might answer your question. So please avail yourself of that. It'll be fun. If you want to know any more information, you can also email info@creativelife.org. That'll get you on the constant contact. The hot links are hot, including the hot link that will take you right to the Soul Session playlist. So there's that. Yeah. I just glanced at my watch. I gotta get moving here. So, I'm at the part where I get to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonder-filled day, an awesome day, an amazing day, an imagination-filled day, and there my brain goes blank. I've got all this imagination, all these words that I can use, so have a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased and well represented. You are a divine spark, a brilliant light. You are spirit in motion, God in action. Have a great day. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time. Which, by the way, is tonight on Facebook Live for the Soul Session at 7 p.m. Central. All right? And if you're watching this on YouTube, then go to the Creative Life Spiritual Center, because I'm sure it was fantastic. All right, beloveds. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time.